warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to our honorable lecturer, Dr. Nurul Labani Huda, and fellow friend. My name is Putri Rini Anissa binti Muhammad Ramzi. My metric number is 20208252238, and I am a student from class RBA 2433B. Today, my group mate and I will be presenting our report regarding the family financial planning. Before we get started, let me introduce you to my group mate.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Azri bin Johari.
Wan Nurila Batrisha binti Wan Muhammad Nasir.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Sharifan Ifa binti Said Tajuddin.
Let me start my group presentation today by presenting the introduction part of my group report. So, what is the meaning of family financial planning? It can be understood as a family's fund or how their money management being run and managed by them. Basically, it is a lifelong process. If you take a look here, the simple understanding that we can draw about family financial planning is that it is a process of managing the family fund or money which belong to them so that they can gain their personal economic satisfaction and life goal through a very proper management of their finances. For our group report, whose family financial planning are we outlining? We choose to conduct a family financial planning for Mr. Shafi Haziq family, which the financial planning will be started since his age is 21 years old until his retirement years. How does Mr. Shafi Haziq family planning being planned? I can say that it will be outlined according to age stages, which there will be 5 stages altogether, which we will start with stage 1 during his age is 21 until 24 years old. Then we continue to stage 2 when his age is 24 until 28 years old. After that, we'll move on to stage 3 that will cover the financial planning for his age in 29 until 53 years old. Then stage 4 when he reached the age of 54 until 59 years old. And the last stage will cover when he reached his retired years, which during 60 years old and above.
Thank you, Putri. Now I will present about stage 1, young adult. This stage is about Mr. Shafi as a 21 years old student from UiTM Puncak Alam. He studies in Bachelor of Human Resource Management. So right here is Mr. Shafi's cash flow statement for the year ended 31st December 2014. As we can see here, Mr. Shafi's fund when he was a student is from JPA scholarship, which he received 6,000 ringgit per year, and also pocket money from his parents, which is 1,000 ringgit per year. Mr. Shafi used the money received to cover his expenses at the university, including his tuition fees, college fees, meal expenses, and many more. So the total of all his expenses in a year is 6,890 ringgit. Next, to calculate his net cash flow, we minus the total cash inflow with the total cash outflow, which equals to 110 ringgit, which is a surplus. This means that when he was a student, he managed his money wisely and he did not face any financial problem. Moving on to the second stage, getting a job. At the age of 24, Mr. Shafi has graduated from his university. He now works as a human resource officer, earning 2,900 ringgit per month before deduction of tax and EPF. To save his money, he decided to not purchase any house yet, and he just stayed at his parents' house. In addition, he also invests in ASNB unit trust for savings purpose. And then let's see Mr. Shafi's tax returns for the year of assessment 2019. Firstly, for aggregate income, we add his annual salary and his ASNB dividend, which equals to 34,926 ringgit. And then for assessable income, we minus the total aggregate income with his donation to Yapim and got 34,726 ringgit. And then we calculate his tax relief. In total, his tax relief is 19,128 ringgit. Then to get the amount of chargeable income, we minus the total assessable income and the total tax relief, which equals to 15,598 ringgit. And then to get the total income tax, we calculate the tax rate first. So for the first 5,000 is 0. And then for the next 10,598 ringgit, we multiply by 1% and get 105 ringgit and 98 cents. And then for the tax rebates, Mr. Shafi got 400 ringgit. So his total tax charge will be 0, which means Mr. Shafi will receive his tax refund in a full amount, which is 1,044 ringgit. As we can see here, he did not have to pay for his tax. This allowed him to save more money. And then after 2 years, in January 2020, he managed to purchase his first car, Myvi, and he has to pay 452 ringgit 49 cents monthly for his car installment. Okay, that's all for me. Next, for Mr. Shafi's credit card calculation, I will pass to Azri.
Thanks, Ilya. For consumer credit, Mr. Shafi often use a credit card as an alternative of payment, as it's very easy to pay for anything and is providing more security and safe rather than cash, as in its password in order to use it. He owns Maybank Islamic Mastercard Equan Platinum card issued by Maybank. Last few weeks, he received bills for his credit card usage for the period of time from 22 July to 21 August 2021. The interest rate charged at 15% per annum, and the bank requires standard 5% for minimum payment. The account transaction statement is stated as below. On 20 July 2021, Mr. Shafi opening balance to 5,300 ringgit. On 21 August 2021, Mr. Shafi aggregate balance is 193,630 ringgit. We calculate Mr. Shafi credit card usage and transaction. As you can see, his average daily balance 6,246 ringgit 12 cents. Interest charged on credit card usage by bank is 78 ringgit 8 cents. His outstanding balance 7,058 ringgit 8 cents. His minimum payment that has stated the bank is at 352 ringgit 90 cents. So his overall outstanding balance after minimum payment is 6,705 ringgit 18 cents. For stage 3, Mr. Shafi is having family at the age of 28 years old. Thanks to the marriage, Mr. Shafi and his wife are blessed with son named Asrat. Last year, Mr. Shafi had signed for medical insurance to cover his whole family for any unexpected accident. He purchased Etika Enrich Plan insurance that he has to pay the yearly premium 4,000. A month ago, Mr. Shafi's wife, Mr. Nora, was admitted to KPJ Rawang Specialist Hospital for shoulder surgery due to an accident. After his wife discharged, the hospital giving the bill and the cost that incurred and medical insurance policy that covered. Total hospital bill incurred after his wife stay for 5 days is 19,590 ringgit. Thanks to his insurance coverage, the bill has been covered by insurance. Mr. Shafi purchase of this insurance plan was a good decision to pay the yearly premium 4,000, as is fully covered by insurance policy. Otherwise, he does not to pay anything for the hospital bill. Thank you. Now I will pass to Putri Rini.
Stage 4, entering retirement age, 54 until 59 years old. Now, I will continue the presentation by presenting to all of you here regarding the 4th stage for Mr. Shafi Haziq, family financial planning, which in this stage it will occur when Mr. Shafi reaches the age of 54 until 59 years old. So, as what we can see on the slide, I'll already simplify all Mr. Shafi plans during this stage into 6 main agenda. As all of you can see here, first of all, Mr. Shafi Haziq planned to retire at the age of 60 years old. Therefore, in order to make sure that he will have a good and well-prepared financial planning, he had outlined his retirement plan earlier, which in the period of age 54 until 59 years old. According to the plan, Mr. Shafi wished to withdraw his EPF account at the age of 54 for investment purpose. As to date, his balance in account 1 is 135,000 ringgit, and he planned to have 3 withdrawals within 4 months from his EPF account. All the amount of money that from the 3 withdrawal will be invested to Tabung Haji. This means that other than ASB, he also will have an investment in Tabung Haji that can be very useful for him in the retired time. The other main financial agenda in this stage for Mr. Shafi family is that he decided to buy a single-story house as his second house for him and his wife to live during their retired days. Han, this will be some of the financial planning for Mr. Shafi Haziq family during the age of 54 until 59 years old.
Thank you, Putri. Now I will explain about stage 5 retirement years. In this stage, Mr. Shafi is 50 years old and already retired from his job. If you look at on the slide, they are the list of Mr. Shafi's sources of funds that can be used during his retirement years. First is EPF saving. With his remaining account balance, he chose to make monthly payment withdrawal about 300 ringgit per month. With this money, it can be used to cover for his monthly expenses and so on. Next is investment in Tabung Haji and saving in ASB. With the money he invested and dividend that he will receive yearly, it can be used as a fund to cover for any unexpected expenses during his retirement years. Lastly is rental house income. To generate more income, Mr. Shafi has made the first house he bought in Bukit Beruntung as a rental house at 850 ringgit per month. So by doing this, he can get more extra fund. So now let's move on to estate planning. Mr. Shafi planned to make a will so that all his assets and property will be given to his loved one when he dies. Currently, all his assets are as stated on the slide. He has a single-story house, apartment, Pro2 Myvi, EPF and ASB saving, and lastly is investment in Tabung Haji. Mr. Shafi then decided to give the apartment and Pro2 Myvi to his son and the single-story house to his wife after he dies. But since they are Muslim, only 1/3 of the estate can be distributed through will. Another 2/3 will be distributed through faraid. Therefore, according to faraid law, his wife only get 1/8 of his asset and the rest will go to his son Asrar. That's all for stage 5 retirement years. As conclusion, we can conclude that Mr. Shafi Haziq family financial planning is good and stable as it covers all the area in personal financial planning. On stage 1, we can say that Mr. Shafi has a good consumption and saving planning as based on his cash flow, he has a positive contribution to saving, which means that he has enough income to cover for his expenses. On stage 2, we can conclude that Mr. Shafi has a good income tax planning and strategy as he is able to minimize the amount of tax to be paid to zero. He also makes a good use of his credit card as he uses it to pay for large purchases like car insurance and so on. On stage 3, we can see that he has a good insurance planning because by purchasing the insurance, it protects him from losses and saves him a lot of money. So instead of paying the full hospital bill, he only has to pay the insurance premium of 4,000 ringgit. Next, on stage 4, we can see Mr. Shafi use his EPF saving to invest in Tabung Haji and purchase a second house. This is indeed a good investment and retirement planning because the investment he made can be used as his fund after he retires and provide him with a better retirement, while the second house he purchased can increase his net worth and wealth. At the last stage 5, we can conclude that Mr. Shafi can live a comfortable standard of living even after he retires with his fund from EPF, ASB, Tabung Haji and the rental house. It's also a smart decision from Mr. Shafi to make an estate planning as he will ensure that all his estate will be passed to his family just like he wishes. Overall, we can say that Mr. Shafi Haziq family financial planning is good and stable. And that's all from us. And thank you for listening.